I don't like that. I wish it would keep the picture here so I could see myself and what I'm doing and if I'm out of frame or if I got a little booger on my nose or something. Oh well. Now what was I saying? Oh, I was saying a long time ago. I remember when I was a teenager and my mom took me to the bank and she took out all her money. I mean, I'm talking like 20 grand, I think it was. And I'm real surprised because she knew something was going on a long time ago. She didn't really, well, I was really young then, didn't let me in on it. But she knew there was corruption, just didn't, know everything back then. I mean, this was a real long time ago. But yeah, I remember it because she took me with her and I counted that money. The bank counted it, she counted it, and I counted it. And then she took it home and it was like, I don't know if it's that great of an idea to have that much cash sitting in your house because of good old thieves, but whatever. But this is really weird because it goes into, they don't want to give your money unless you can provide a receipt or something like that. That doesn't even make any sense. Like if I was, let's say, well, any amount of money, it's arbitrary, but let's say I took out 10 grand to do some house project. And, well, that doesn't make any sense. How do I have a receipt for a house project that I'm getting the money for to do? I don't have a receipt yet. That's why I'm getting the money. And then there shouldn't be any reason to get your money out. I mean, this is so absurd. It's unbelievable. Sometimes I can't believe the stuff that's happening. It almost blows my mind. It's like, why should you need a reason to take out your own money? That just does not make any sense. There shouldn't have to be a reason. There shouldn't have to be an amount. It's your money. Or maybe it's not your money. It's the federal government's money. It's the corporation's money. It's the freaking bank's money. And that's the way they look at it. Maybe I gotta look at it at their, from the corruption point of view. The elite, the government's point of view. Like all these people who are terrorists. If you look at it from their point of view, yeah, all these people, everybody in the world is a potential terrorist. Of course. If I was a corrupt government or a corrupt corporation or a bank or just somebody who's behind everything that no one sees and manipulating everything, if I was that corrupt entity, yes, this would make all the sense in the world. Yep. But if I was a caring, loving human being with a half a brain left, this wouldn't make any sense at all. People would be infuriated at this. Everybody should be. I'm doing a video on this, talking. I have to talk. I can't take it anymore. I couldn't even figure out a label to label this, and I called it like my release because I have to get this off my chest. It's like okay then, and what else was there? There was the good old, there's a new shooting, of course. Surprise! Now this is where I wish I had any computer skills at all. Because there's some things that don't add up to me. And I know there's going to be some very good people out there that do their work and research. But one thing that I went to was, well, the first video I saw was on Vimeo. And that really wasn't his account, it was somebody else's. Then I went to, he had a YouTube. But there was only like 24 videos, and the furthest one away in time was 3 months ago. that's very odd. In this day and age, a 22-year-old, I mean, I'm sure it happens. People like me, I wouldn't have been on, I wouldn't have any imprint on this computer if it wasn't because there was so much corruption going on. I wouldn't have came here. I would have never, I mean, I stayed away for it for decades now. And I just, like 3 years ago, I snapped and I had to talk. I started with the weather mod and I was hoping, you know, I'd find some people that would correlate and collaborate and unify with, but that didn't happen. Yeah. Because that's what we need to do, is unify on such a big level. You know, that's what, I'm going to give them this. The corruption, the elitists, they call themselves. I won't call them that. They're not elite. They're not above me. I'm way above them in intellect. Far beyond them. Unbelievable. But, yeah. I don't know what to say except, what was that? I was going to give them that. Oh, they're united. Yeah. That's one thing I'll give them. They're united. In the number of the world, you know, the population of the world, you know, it's a small amount, but they're united, and they are doing so much. And to me, everything is against what, you know, an average, caring, loving human being would want, ever want. Now, what else was really weird about this? There's a few things that I found. Like, if I was into the computer thing and had computer knowledge, I would dive in and try to find the imprint this person had on the internet, because it doesn't make any sense that he only had a YouTube page for 3 months, you know, with people that I see that they walk around with their cell phone, you know, all the time, their computer phone. They engage more into the phone than other people. It's weird. But whatever. This was the other thing. Like, hardly any emotion, no tears. If immediate family for me, I wouldn't be speaking to anybody for months. Maybe not freaking years. Let alone the media. I would be telling the media, go away. I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to talk to you. But it's not only the lack of emotion, because people are different, but the first thing he's going after is the guns. It wasn't the gun that killed people. It was the person. And he's blaming the guns? People are insane to me, because in all probability, it could have been the father, the parents themselves, that caused the kid to flip out because of the way he was brought up, or the lack of being raised. Oh, and the other thing, he's a director of another movie. Wasn't there another shooter that was a son of a movie maker, a director of a movie? See, that's another thing that I would dive in. I know there is. As far as I can recollect, remember, there was another shooter that was related to some movie maker. I mean, that's odd in itself. But the first thing he comes out and says is, I want to go after the guns. And somebody said it, I listened to one video, and, you know, there's smart people out there and people that think like me, and he said it, and I agree totally with him. He was talking about he could have used his car. He could have used his car and ran over people and killed more people with the car. You don't need a gun to kill people. It's a tool. And like any tool, you got to be educated. Like life, you got to be educated in life and what life's about and what do you expect. But you can't do that because everything changes. The rules change. You expect to work 30 years of your life away and get a retirement. Well, that rule has changed. And you wonder why there's disgruntled people out there. Oh, man. This is so odd, dude. The behavior of these people to go after the guns. It's not the gun that did this. The gun didn't go out and kill people. It's the person that went out and killed the people. If that actually happened, people call them hoax. Well, I prefer to call it staged events because sometimes people do get killed, like mind control. You know, people go out and actually kill people, but it's not actually a hoax because it actually happens in part. It takes place, but it's being manipulated. It's being staged. And like I said, I'm not the person to dive into this. I know there's going to be people that do their job and do it great, excellent. And they're going to find out, you know, just like everything else. Sandy, I mean, there's like a list, and the list goes on and on, depending on how old you are. The Oakland bombing, the Boston bombing. I mean, there's so many things, I can't even remember them all. I don't even want to remember them all. There's so much corruption, it's like, why go over all the corruption? Why don't we act? Why don't our military that swore an oath, the police that swore an oath to the Constitution, not to people, not to the people, the president, not to the leaders, so-called leaders, to the people of the United States and to the Constitution. I'm disappointed in all the people, you know, really. The military and the police. They should be walking up, taking all the government by hand and taking them to jail. Come on, little children. You're so corrupt. We have to jail you and protect the people from your actions. All this doesn't even need to take place. I mean, I'm sure we can agree what to do next. Frankly, I don't really care if a lot of people want to go back to a republic. I think, you know, I think we can do much better. I have tons of ideas. My best idea, I wonder how many minutes I have. I can talk and talk and talk. I can't believe it. I wish this time was just open for me and I could just talk and talk as long as I wanted to. But I got 15-minute increments because I'm using the cheap version, the free version. So I only have 2 minutes left to talk about the best idea I think I have. It's basically, if I owned a printing press and if we had a real government that really wanted us to be free and to have, you know, equality, that I would ask that, you know, I want to print money for the American people, and I want to print my overhead, I think they call it, for your business, what it costs for my expenses, for 2 reasons. Well, to run the business, pay the people and the machines and the paper, for the paper, the products and whatnot. The second reason is so that I could pay people interest instead of charging them. And then people, instead of taking the Federal Reserve's printed money, they'd be, hey, this guy's going to pay me interest for using his printed money. To be charged interest or to get paid interest? And if the government said, okay, I would be like, print. It's just, that's what they do anyway, but they charge us interest. And apparently we're in trillions, billions, gajillions dollars of debt. We'll never see the end of the debt machine if we listen to these people in charge. If we don't listen to them and act on ourselves and create our own society beyond what they tell us. I'm sick of being told what this society is, and it's totally corrupt. I better go. I think my time's running out. I put my face out there. I don't know if I'm on the camera because I can't see it. I don't know why that is. It kind of irritates me. But